English, I'm gonna do it really fast. I've done it before in Spanish and it took forever. So I'm gonna do it really quick. My brother was saying a little bit of his life, a little bit, if you guys understood him, that he was living the American life, right? Uh, I wanna say that I was living the Cholo life back then. That was me, and I was trying to find my way, uh, and the streets pulled me in. Though I, though me and my brother was raised in a family, in a Christian family since we were small. Uh, we 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 went to church. We with our parents. Our parents took us all the time, and even though we wanted to or we didn't, we had to go to church. We had to be there, you know. Uh, uh, the best things that I remember was the people that sing up in the church, glorifying His name. Those songs. Oh, I remember being so small and I used to just scream, scream my lungs out when people used to sing uh, Christmas Christian songs. I used to sing so loud. And one time I was just singing so loud that the guy in front of me, he kind of got mad. He kind of got, I don't know if I was screaming too loud for him, that he kind of got mad and turned and gave me a mean face. So I stopped. I stopped. From there on, I stopped singing. And and during those times, I was having problems. I was growing up. I was, becoming a man, and when I needed my dad, someone to look up to. Uh, During that time, I was losing him. I don't know if it was because of my behavior or because I was just growing up, and I was just becoming a man, and my dad didn't know how to pull me aside and talk to me and tell me, well, son, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to become a man, and he never did that, so that was one thing that I was missing. Father, I had him. He gave me everything that I needed. I had my shoes, I had my clothes, my food, my roof, anything I needed. I just had to ask him, and he'll get it for me. But that love, I was so small that I couldn't go up to my dad and tell him, Dad, can you give me love? It sounds weird to go to your parent and tell you that. Show me some love, or give me love. No. And us, being Hispanic, being Mexicans, it comes naturally, it just comes naturally to love a son, to love a daughter, and I didn't see that in my dad back then. Yeah, when I was one to through 10, I saw that. I used to play with my dad, and then I started growing up, and my nieces took my spot, took that spot that I had, my nieces, they took that from my dad because they're so cute. They were so cute and pretty and small, and my dad loved that. And I'm not saying, darn my nieces, because no, it's just, it's life. I mean, it's life. That's what we have to go through. That's what I had to go through, and my brother, he was a special, very, very special person. I looked up to him before he left. Before he moved, he was pretty old, around 20 something when he left the house, and uh, he really, really wanted to move. So he moved, and once he moved, I didn't have no one else to talk to. I have my other brothers, but they're nothing compared to my brother Nelson, And once he moved, I felt like, so now it's me, Now I have to take charge, Now I have to become a man, and find my own self, with no one helping me, And the only people that were there to help me was my friends, I would go up to them and talk to them, about anything. And they will tell me, well, don't worry, don't worry. Have a beer or or let's go over here, let's go party, or they will take my mind off of that situation, of that sorrow that I had here in my heart. They will take it away and bring me happiness. And that's why I looked up to them. They were like my role models, and not my father, because he wasn't there, and when he was there, he always was there to judge me. He was always there to school me, to tell me, well, you're not doing this right. Why aren't you doing this right? You have to do it right. And okay, as a parent now, that I am, it, it's hard when you look at your kid, and you want to teach them right, but then you look at yourself, and you've gone through so much stuff, that it hurts you when one of your kids commits, something wrong, or hits his sister or something. It hurts, And my dad, I mean, he was there for me. He gave me everything, but not love, and that's one of the important things that I think, is love, Now that I have it, I feel like the best person, the best. I mean, I feel like Superman, because I have love, in me. There's no more hate in me, and that's God working in you. That's God working in you. Well, after my brother left, I started with the homies. I started hanging out with them, hardcore. I started teaching school because that was my friends. They were my role models, They're the ones that showed me love. They're the ones that showed me everything about the streets, And that was me. That was me. That was me growing up, to be a cholo, to be a gangster. And from there on, I just took off. Started carrying weapons. Started tagging on the walls, Started being with girls, started partying, drinking, smoking, doing all kinds of drugs. Test them, But that's what I wanted, That's what I desired, because I didn't have no one to tell me what to do, no one to say, a hug or a smile, California is so much different to Idaho. It's so much different that when I got here, when my wife convinced me to move up here, and I got here and I saw the place, and I was like, man, I'm gonna stay here. Why? Because this is a town where you can raise your family, Not compared to California. I mean, you can raise your family wherever you want, but Idaho is pretty nice, Compared to California, I would rather raise my family here than in California. My kids, After I went to the streets and all that, got in trouble with the law. The cops was taking me home almost every day. By that time, my wife, my girlfriend back then, was living with me, and she saw it. I mean, I thank God now, that God gave me a special woman, a woman of God, because of her, just because of her, I'm here today. I'm here today because of her. If she wouldn't have changed, if she wouldn't have, said, okay, God, I'm gonna follow you, I would have still been the same guy, I would have ended up in jail, I would have been dead maybe, but I wouldn't have been up here. Someone else, maybe my brother, but I wouldn't. I remember telling my mom, people, I even told my brother, in his face, because they used to tell me, why aren't you gonna change? When are you gonna change? Why don't you stop what you're doing? I used to tell them in their face, I'm never gonna change. You just better shut your mouth, because I'm not gonna change. And look at me now. I mean, It's just so wonderful. I mean, words can't explain how I feel now. You know? I can't explain it to you guys. But only you guys can. If you guys want to feel it, if you guys really want God in your life, get on your knees. Get on your knees, you know, and talk to Him. Sometimes mommy and daddy are not there, you know. Sometimes they're not there. Sometimes your friend is not there, your cousin. But God's always there. God's always there. He's always been there for me. Always. You know? In my hard times, He's always been there. You know? In my happy times, He's always there. He died on the cross for us, guys. You know? It was hard for me to understand, you know? It was hard for me to understand that life is just so delicate, you know? But I didn't care back then because, in life, I didn't care about dying. I didn't. Because I didn't have that love. I didn't know God. You know? I had a few of my kids already. You know? And you would think, man, maybe that will stop me, you know, from being the guy that I was. It didn't. They couldn't stop me. My wife couldn't stop me. You know? It was up to me to make that decision, you know? It says in the Bible, it says, God chooses you. And God is choosing you today. God was choosing you yesterday. You're here for a reason. A few people said it here, that you're here for a reason. It's not just because you got invited here today. It's not a game. I mean, man, we need to really think about it, you know? People, youth from Rosa de Salon. I mean, come on. Let's stop these games and then really think about what we're doing here, you know? What God wants us to do. I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of just putting people in pedestals, you know, and you know, the only person you have to put on a pedestal and look up to as a role model is God, you know. Amen. Don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about how people look at you, because you're not doing it for them. I mean, your salvation is for you. You're not doing it for no one else but yourself. You know? After I started with my homies and everything, you know, I thought I had love. I thought I had, you know, everything. You know? Because I thought I did. You know, I was happy. You know, I was always high. I was always high. I went home, I was high. Yeah, I heard it from my dad. I don't really care, because I was high. Now I come here, you know, when I came through those doors, yeah, I felt nervous. I had those butterflies in me. Why? Because that little seed that my mom planted, you know, that my mom planted in California, when she woke us up every Sunday to go to church, that little seed got watered every time I went, even though I didn't want it. You know, I didn't think I wanted to. Even though my mind was somewhere else. You know, those words from the pastor was coming in through here. You know, you probably think it was coming out through the other ear. No, it was staying in there. It was staying in there. That little seed grew up. You know, it blossomed. It blossomed. And I didn't know. I didn't know. I was still the same cholo. I was still the same gangbanger, you know, out there doing the same thing. But God was always there. Always there, you know. When I was just felt like, man, you know, this is it. This is it. I hit my bottom, you know. I can't go any lower than where I am. I always, man. That's why sometimes I come up here and I pray and my tears just fall, you know, and they fall because of what my head, you know, what I've been through, what I've seen, and the things that I've done, I don't deserve Him. I don't. And some of you may feel like that, like, man, I don't deserve God. I don't deserve Him, you know. I've done so much bad stuff in my life. I mean, why? Why now? You know? It is time. It's time, guys. I mean, maybe you guys haven't seen so much stuff, you know. Maybe you guys haven't gotten drunk or gotten high or whatever. But that's you. I mean, you know, that's you. That's your testimony. That's your testimony. Man, how much I would love. I mean, well, now I think about, man, I look at Quito and then I think to myself, I mean, like, man, what about if I were to become a son of a pastor, you know? How the talent, you know, that I would have had, you know? Because I see him with so much talent, you know, that he has. He has so much talent. He is a role model. He is a role model. I mean, each one of you guys are a role model for the little ones. After everything, after I moved over here to Idaho with my wife, she convinced me. And I came through those doors, and I met Pastor Ceci. She wasn't pastor back then when I got here. But I met them, I met everyone here. And I first started singing over there on those chairs over there with my wife. And I felt so awkward, put with butterflies in my stomach, you know? And then every time I came and I heard those songs, I just nothing but tears. Nothing but tears. Nothing but tears. Because God was working. He was working slowly, baby steps, baby steps. But He was working in me. And that's what I needed. I gave myself to Him here in this church. This church changed me. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm totally a changed man, because we can't. So we're up there with Him. Amen. But we can try, guys. We can sure try, you know. By us going out there to the streets and handing flyers out, we're stomping on the devil. We're just stomping on the devil.
That's right. Yes.
And it feels so good. I mean, it feels so nice to look at people, at the youth, and you guys going out there. It's so beautiful. I mean, if I back then, you know, if I would have been like that, man, I would have loved to be like that, like you guys now, you know. I think, you know, now I should have done this a long time ago, you know, because now I'm happy. I'm happy. I have my family, I have my brother, I have my pastors, I have my sister, my nieces here. What else can I ask for, you know? I don't have to worry about the homies coming to my house. I don't have to worry about shooting my house no more. I don't have to worry about them shooting me. You know? And I know I'm breaking those chains. I'm breaking those chains because my kids are not going to follow me. You know? I know they're going to grow up to be a better person than me. You know, that's why I wanted to hear. I wanted them here today to hear me. Because this is not easy, guys. I mean, if you guys want to live that life of crime, of being a gangster, of being a wannabe, whatever, go ahead. Go ahead. Go outside and go do that. But stop, you know, because you're just wasting your time. If you just want to do that and you want to come here, you can't. Either you go and choose that life or you become a Jesus freak. That's how I see it, you know? I'd rather them call me, look at that guy, you know, he's all into Jesus, he's a freak. I'd rather them call me a freak, you know, a Jesus freak than a gangbanger, you know?
Amen.
I mean, I'm gonna end it now, because I know my brother's giving me eyes now.
It's just I have so much, guys. I got a prayer too. Prayer, how to pray, why to pray. I mean, I did, even though my brother told me it was gonna be for the 18. I had to work. I had to study for this day. You know, everything that comes to the Lord, guys, we can't say, well, hold on, let me think about it. Or maybe tomorrow. Or hold on. Come on, let's say yes. Come on. Let's say yes, Lord. You died on the cross. I'm gonna go preach for you.